So, before you start completing the square, you have to be really comfortable with this pattern here. Now, don't worry, it looks really complicated mainly because it's full of algebra, and when I'm explaining this, I'll show you how it works with numbers, and also you'll be practicing some of it hopefully, and that will make you understand it a lot better, because when you practice something over and over again it becomes second nature, and the main thing you just have to practice really is squaring out brackets. Okay, so that's the thing I'm going to be focusing on, and let's start doing that. For example, x plus b all squared could be x plus 3 all squared, because b can be any number, positive or negative, but let's start with a positive number, x plus 3 all squared. Now what does that mean? X plus 3 all squared means x plus 3 times another x plus 3, because squaring means times by itself. And what do you get? Well, I want you to pause the video and try this out. X plus 3 times x plus 3. So pause. Carry on. So x plus 3 times x plus 3, hopefully you realize that multiply to make x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now why did that happen? Well, if this is a 3 in the x plus 3 all squared, then you would have done 3 times the x and x times the 3. Essentially you did 3x two times in two places basically. So you got 3x twice, which is 6x. That's why you got 6x. And also you did 3 times the 3, which is 3 squared, which is 9. That's why you had to square the 3, like over there. So if you just did this with x plus b, to make it general again, you would be doing bx twice to give you 2bx, and you'd be squaring the b, which will give you b squared. Let's do another example with a number. So x plus 5 all squared will give you x squared plus 10x, because 10 is double the 5, plus 25, because 25 is the square of 5. So x plus 5 all squared gives you x squared plus 10x plus 25. Let's give you an example with a negative number, x minus 6 all squared. Now, so if b was minus 6, you wouldn't really say x plus minus 6 all squared. You would just say x minus 6 all squared, because if you've got a negative number, you don't need to say the positive number there. So x minus 6 all squared will give you x squared minus 12x, because minus 12 is double the minus 6, plus 36, because 36 is the square of minus 6. Minus 6 times minus 6 gives you positive 36. A minus times a minus is a positive. So that's squaring out brackets. That is the main thing you've got to understand. The easy bit that follows it is that if you take away b squared, basically taking away the end result of what you get from this, which is this thing here, if you take away b squared, you get rid of this and you're left with this, and that is the pattern you've got to understand, which isn't so hard if you know this pattern. But of course you have to know the pattern the other way around, because look, the pattern is not written like this, it's written the other way around. So let's demonstrate this pattern to finish off in a couple of examples using numbers. So if you've got, for example, x squared plus 10x, so this is 10, this 2b is 10, that means 1b would be 5. So x squared plus 10x would be x plus 5 all squared minus 5 squared, or i.e. x plus 5 all squared minus 25. Why is that? Just to remind you, because going this way you remember that x plus 5 all squared gives you x squared plus 10x plus 25, but because I've taken away the 25, I have no 25 left over here. So another example, x squared plus, I don't know, 20x will give you x plus 10, because 10 is half of that, 20. So x plus 20x will give you x plus 10 squared minus 10 squared. When I say squared there, it means all of this squared, of course. So x plus 20x equals x plus 10 all squared minus 100, because 10 squared is 100. That squared is 100. So practice that a couple of times. Oh, let me do one more example with a negative number. So x squared minus 8x, so that's minus 8. Therefore that is minus 4, and that is minus 4 squared, which is the same as 4 squared, i.e. 16. So x squared minus 8x equals x minus 4 all squared minus 4 squared, which is 16, minus 16. X squared minus 8x equals x minus 4 all squared minus 16.